What's going on, squad? It's another wonderful day. It's a Brodacious Life, a lifestyle design podcast designed to help you live your best life. Of course, my name is Chef Jonathan. I've got the famous Dr. J with me. What's going on, Dr. J?
Hey, what's going on, Chef? Man, it is a great day in the city. I have been barbecuing out, playing in the leaves, and just rocking and rolling. And for those of you that listened last week that know about the bold moves happening on at Dr. J's house, passed that state exam, qualified for my realtor's license, signed on with an agency, and getting ready in the last steps. I can't tell you who just yet. I got to get the ink signed and on the paper and all that good stuff to make it legal. But dude, big things going. So step crushed on it. And I still want to know, for those of you out there listening today, what are your bold moves, where you're at? Make sure you go type in the comments on this YouTube video. Or if you're on our podcast, shoot us an email, find us on Instagram. And I just want to throw that out there, dude, because I'm pumped and I'm curious how the community's doing. Chef, how are you doing?
Man, it's been an absolute exciting week. It's been a lot of hard work. There's been lots of excitement. Had just an amazing episode yesterday recording with Clint Arthur, and just a celebrity designer is just the kind of, he helps you design the celebrity mentality. And I was just absolutely mind blown in that conversation. And he has been amongst just celebrities and has all these mentors, and to be able to piece knowledge from him and understand why that's important that you have that celebrity status and what celebrity status means and how you ultimately can be a celebrity. So be on the lookout for that episode. I'm super excited to be releasing that content soon.
Yeah, absolutely. That is going to be one of the most powerful episodes this year. And by the time this comes out too, we've already released the thing on going pro. And I think those two work hand in hand, that if you're going to do something in life, man, you got to go pro. You got to be professional about it. You got to be a celebrity. I mean, you got to go all in. And I just think that that's huge. And it kind of reminds me about what we're talking about today as far as it relates to businesses. Do you want to introduce today's topic, or do you want me to dig into it?
So today is about the power of knowing what you are for. Too often we understand what we are against. I am against super cold weather in the South. I am against unsweet tea. I am against blah, 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 blah. You know, we talk about sometimes, you know, we mention that our churches often talk about what they're against, but we often forget, what are we for? And today we want to talk about what is the power of knowing what you are for.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, everybody's got a vision, a thing for their life that they're running towards. But oftentimes the things that we talk about with our peers, or the things that we sort of show on the outside, is I'm against this, and it's that negative thing, like I'm against this. I don't like that. I don't like that candidate. Can you believe they did that? Instead of focusing, like you said, Chef, on the things that, well, this is what I'm for. Man, I'm for this. I'm for that. I'm excited. I'm going towards this. Hey, what are your goals? How do we get there together? And it's okay to acknowledge and be aware of some things that you're against. That's not what I'm saying, but it's, what do you spend most of your time and energy? And I really like what you said about church, Chef. Just a moment for any of the pastors that listen to our show. One of the things that turned me off about the denomination of church that I grew up in is that every Sunday that I would go to that denomination, and I won't say it here so that no one gets the wrong idea. I'm not trying to be hard on them, but every Sunday I would sit in and a pastor would tell me what he's against. And over time, I started to think, man, God must be against me because I don't live a perfect life. I'm trying. And then one day I went to a church and the pastor told me what God was for. And I thought, well, he's for that. I feel like I should be for that too. And then every Sunday I learned what God was for. And in the process of that, I learned that he was there for me. And so I'll simply say that I think that applies to what we're talking about today, where we're incorporating that into our personal lives, because just like I was attracted towards that church, I think more people will be attracted to you out there and be attracted to your business if you'll spend more time telling them and informing them and showing them what you are for.
I love it. So let's explain the importance of having a clear sense of what you stand for. Break it down for us, Dr. J.
Yeah, I tell you what, let's do it together. We'll go through. We've got 5 key points here, and this is what, and we'll just take some turns, and I'll go on the first one. But, you know, when you have a clear sense of what you stand for, there are 5 positive things. Number 1 is it provides clarity. When you know what you stand for, you have a clear understanding of your values, your beliefs, your priorities, and that clarity can help you make decisions and align with your goals and values and avoid the conflicts that sometimes happen with them. And again, if all you do is focus on what you're against, you don't have the clarity. You have a cloud. I'm going to say that again for anyone that needs to hear it. If all you know is what you're against, you don't have clarity. You simply have a cloud. Knowing what you're for is what provides that clarity that says, these are my beliefs and these are my priorities. And when you live your life for what you're for, the people around you are able to see that clarity, and they're able to see your product, not just the thing you sell in the business, but the product that is your persona, the you that is your best you. And Chef, isn't that what we want people to see, is the best version of ourselves?
Exactly. And what that comes down to is also is helping us, it helps us with number 2 point is helping us in our decision making. When you're faced with a difficult decision, knowing what you stand for can help you weigh your options and choose the one that is most in line with your values and beliefs. We spend so much time, I think, talking about what we don't like in our common world, especially on social media, where you got to have that, oh, whoa, it's me moment. But we make decisions every day on what we're going to consume. We make a decision on what content that we're going to consume. Are we going to consume negative content? Are we going to consume content that is going to lead us astray from our 5 F's? Faith, family, freedom, finance, and fun. What are you doing every single day in your decision making that's going to help you keep to those 5 F's?
Yeah, I think that's huge, Chef. And I will tell you too, I'm sitting through another training on making YouTube videos that influence people in a positive way. And I'm real excited about this. But one of the things that the guy said in this training, which is so sad, he says, when you put in titles like the 5 things I hate about, or the 10 things that irritate me about, he goes, you will always get more views and you will always get more clicks. And I thought, isn't that sad that that's what gets views and clicks? And it's like, no. We can be positive people. And, and that brings me to the third one on here, which is builds confidence. I mean, when you state what you are for and you live your life for what you're for, you have confidence because you have convictions. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. It will build your confidence because you have conviction. When you have a clear understanding of what you stand for, you're better equipped to stand up for yourself, stand up for your beliefs, and this can help you build confidence in yourself and have confidence in your decisions. I mean, you and I both have talked about on the show before that sometimes in our business and sometimes in our life, we have to make pretty tough decisions that don't make everyone happy. And if I'm going to have to make not a bad decision, but a decision that is not popular, at least people want to say, hey, well, I know why he made his decision, because he's for this, or he made that decision. He took it across the chin because he's for this positive thing, not he's against everything. So yeah, man, just huge stuff.
Next thing it does on number 4 is just it gives us direction. It's kind of like you mentioned there. It's, when we have that confidence and we have that decision making, it helps us give that direction on where we need to go. And when you know what you stand for, you have a sense of direction and purpose. This can help you set goals towards achieving them, knowing that you are moving in the right direction that is right for you. Are you setting the right goals that stand for who you are? We talked about our goals for the year and at the beginning of 2023. Did all of those goals, are we moving in the right direction for who I want to be at the end of 2023, moving into 2024?
Yeah, I think that's huge. And you talk about the right direction. And I will say that when you live your life based on what you are for, it gives you direction. And as a result of that, it enhances your relationships. I mean, when you know what you stand for, you're better able to connect with other people who share your beliefs, who share your values. And this is going to help you build stronger, more meaningful relationships with people who understand and support you. I mean, at its basic thing, can we all agree that when you project negativity, in other words, you're talking about what you're against, then you tend to attract negative people. And if nothing else, by focusing on the negative emotion, you're in that cloudy headspace. But if you live your life with positivity and you talk about what you're for, by the way, notice that when I talk about what I'm for, I'm still against all those things I was against. I'm just focused on the positive direction. When I do that, man, it enhances relationships because I'm attracting people towards me that have the same vision, that have the same goals for their life. And life is better played, man, when you're on a team. So that's how it enhances relationships, because it helps you put a team, a tribe, a squad you're on my squad, man. I'm on your squad. We're in this together.
I agree. We talk about the click rates of the negative things. There's a reason why the popular news outlets, why they focus so much on the negativity and things that going on. But the core people who are around you, they're not around you because, I hope not, because of y'all all hate similar things. That would be a very miserable lifestyle. You want to be like honey on a summer's day. You want people to stick to you, and because of your positivity. And again, we talked about the vibe and vibration that you bring into the world. So are you bringing the right vibe into the world? And when you're connecting it and your vibe is right, you're projecting that vibe onto another person, and as they go throughout their day, and they bring back that good vibe to you. You need people around you who are developing each other in a positive way. And again, it's because of what you stand for and what you not focusing on what you stand against. So what are the dangers of only knowing what you are against? So let's kind of talk about that for a second.
Yeah, first off, I will tell you this. If all you know is what you're against, you don't really have goals for your life. I mean, a goal is something you want to achieve. In other words, you are for that. You are for that thing. You are wanting to become that thing. You're wanting to move in that direction. So if you can't articulate what you're for and all you are is against stuff, I would argue that's probably number one, is you don't have direction. And that's a huge danger, because you can get really focused on where you're at that you forget about where you're going. And I'm going to say that one more time, that when you're for something, you're moving towards something. When
Yes.
you're just against it, you're stuck in where you're at.
So let's break it down. And so what can we do when we're starting to move? Because I think we have a habit of getting into the negative vibe, if you will. And again, discussing what we do not like. How do we train ourselves to get out of that?
Well, I mean, the way that you can get out of that, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong to make sure I answer the right question. You're talking about, like, what are the strategies for identifying what your purpose is? Okay. So let's break it down. I mean, I've got 3, 4, 5, a few of these. And, the first one is self-reflection. I mean, you have to take time to reflect on your experience, your values, beliefs, and think about the activities and situations that make you feel most fulfilled and energized. And identify those negatives, identify the things that drain you and make you feel unfulfilled. We talked about this before. If you want to take an action step, consider writing this in a journal, because sometimes maybe you're projecting what you're against and you're not even doing it intentionally. Write down. Clarify your thoughts. Write them down. This is what I'm for. These are the tenets of what I believe. Like, take a period. Your first step to finding your purpose, finding what you're for, is self-reflection. Chef, do you do any self-reflection? I know you do, because we talk about it on the show. Talk about it here for just a little bit.
So I do self-reflection. I do our Brodacious journal every single day. That helps me define my clarity. I also, using the David Goggins method, I try to journal for 10 minutes a day. And it's just kind of that moment where I sit down, I pencil, I write it out, especially when I'm feeling something negative or I was really upset. I kind of had a moment this past week of work. I felt like I kind of got career blocked a little bit at work. And an opportunity was placed in front of me where I could act in a much larger role than I currently possess. And it was kind of like I felt like it was like a trial run for my upper corporate bosses to trust me with something that was that big. And then my direct supervisor basically sidestepped me and said, no, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to lie. I kind of had that moment of self-reflection. I wanted to run and complain and moan to everyone around me. I really did. Because it hurt my feelings that I was not allowed to have this moment. But at the end of the day, passing on that discussion onto going intimate about my business dealings with the company to another employee, one, it's not ethical. That's not really anybody's business between me and my superior. The next thing is that negativity that I provide. I have some people that I work with that are just, I love them, but you have that moment of just, I just want positivity out of you, and I want to be the light. I try to be positive. I try to lift things up. My job is to just be the powerful light of brands that I represent. And I want to continue that every day. So I journal, and I was able to just kind of have that moment of self-reflection. And I have to admit, after I got done journaling it and I reread it, I have to admit, was I salty a little bit? Yes. But the reasons I'm salty is also because I'm selfish. And I wasn't maybe necessarily seeing the bigger picture of what my supervisor needed me to see versus my own ambitions on what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah, dude, that's huge. First off, kudos to you for sharing that. I appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing that with our audience, because I think people need to hear that even in the brodacious life, like it's not always, it's not always Christmas trees and cookies. Like there are down moments. But again, what you did was rather than staying focused on the negativity, you went and journaled and you went right back to, no. This is what I am for. Like, this is where I'm headed. And it puts you back in that headspace, because we're all going to experience some defeats. So I say all that to say, man, kudos to you for really emulating this. And then I did not even know about the story till you just shared it. And I think that says a lot about your character, that, if you felt negativity, it didn't change you long, because I actually had no idea. So, and I talked to you like 2 or 3 times this week. So crazy stuff, man. But yeah, goal setting.
Yeah. So the next thing is goal setting. Set specific, measurable goals for yourself that are aligned with your values and beliefs. This can help you stay focused and motivated. It can also help provide a sense of direction and purpose. We've spent a lot of time this early year, 2023, talking about our goals. And the goals are a huge part of a brodacious life. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, I thought my goal was here. And Clint just absolutely just blew my mind and said, no, your goals need to be up here. And so stop worrying about you're worried about nickels and dimes. You need to be worried about what's going on up here. And I was just really excited. It completely changed some of my goals that I have for the year. And I'm really excited about the projects. We've been working on them a little bit offset, working on some great projects. And we're really going to take it up a notch after some consultation.
Dude, I think that's huge. And, it sounds like in some ways you're excited this week too, because he opened up some things inside of you. And I cannot wait look, people, just to say it one more time, you've got to listen to this episode. I mean, it's really, really good. But he took that mentorship role. And, the third thing out there is you're trying to identify what you're for. You got to seek out a mentor. I mean, even Tiger Woods has a coach. Michael Jordan has a coach. Chipper Jones, for those of us in Atlanta, had a coach. Freddie Freeman had a coach. Everybody's got a coach. Freddie Freeman, we don't talk about him. He's a Dodger. He that should not be named. Anyways, back to the podcast. Like, look for people who inspire you and have a sense of purpose and their own sense of direction in your lives, and reach out and ask for advice and guidance. It can be a valuable source. I know this week, and again, I haven't asked their permission to share it, but there are 2 real estate professionals that I look up to, one on the agent side and one on the investor side. And I got to spend an hour and a half chatting with them this week. And it wasn't just about information about actions I need to take. It was similar to what you just said, Coach, what you just said, Chef, that I think is huge. One of them looked at me and said, "Why are you dreaming so small? Your dreams have got to be bigger." And I was like, "I might not achieve them." He goes, "Exactly. You're only going to land at 80% of your vision." He goes, that's realistic. So how does one achieve more? They make their vision higher so that when you land at 80% of that vision, it is fulfilling and enriching. But remember, you're going to miss every shot you don't take. And I thought, ouch, and also awesome. So I would tell everybody out there, brodacious folks, man, get you a mentor. And it's okay to go, I need a coach, because all the smart people, man, they all got a coach.
Exactly. Next is explore your interests. Try new activities, explore new areas of interest. This can help you discover new passions, develop a better sense of what you enjoy and what you're good at. This has been kind of a fun thing for me this last year. Now that I've gotten some time, again, I've been able to pick up some things that I'm really excited about. The YouTube channel, being able to really deep dive into podcasting. On the fun side of my 5 Fs, I've really deep dove into airsoft. And I've kind of made some airsoft goals, and some of those airsoft goals kind of align with my other goals, specifically my health goals that I have going on. But I've really enjoyed it, and it helps me. It gets me excited every single day when I have these different interests that all kind of culminates into this fun life that I have.
Dude, I think that's huge. In fact, and if you're listening here right now, I want to draw attention to something Chef said. He said that knowing what you're for doesn't always have to be work related, or just like lofty personal goals. Like sometimes explore your interests, like know what you're for. Chef is for airsoft and he enjoys that. He's a part of that. It's part of his personality. He talks about it on the show all the time. And it's good because when you talk about your airsoft, dude, I can tell you're passionate about it. Like, I don't get into it, but like, dude, you're all in. And I think it's fantastic, man.
Again, we have an opportunity where we get to play with, there's typically 20 to 40 of us, kind of depending on the week. And there's like former military. There's several people who are in the National Guard. So we get to play with like experienced people. So it's a lot of fun, and they also are really good about being mentors in the sport. We just don't have, like, if you go on YouTube, you'll see all these wild YouTube worst reactions, and there's all these guys being snowflakes about getting hit when you're on an airsoft field. But we just don't have that because we have great people, and it gets me excited. Again, it's just a fun sport to play. I'm a sniper, you know what I mean? And that's mostly been because I'm a big boy and I've been overweight and I huff and puff after running for 10 feet. So now that I've lost some weight and I've been running and I'm down 18 pounds now since.
All right. Go, Chef. Okay.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts. My body hurts all the time. But it's, since I've been losing weight, now I'm wanting to change up my interest a little bit. And I've been more of the guy that's running up to the flags and really kind of going after it and changed up my gun style. And it's a lot of fun again, but it comes down to goal setting. I mean, I almost hit every single thing in there. I've self-reflected on, I wasn't being my physical best, set some goals to lose some weight. I had some great mentors who helped me come up with that, and then explored the new interest itself. And I've picked up some new friends and some new habits and gameplay.
Yeah, I'll say too, if you're out there listening today, go into the comments on the YouTube page if you're listening to it via YouTube. And if you're on podcast, go check it out on A Brodacious Life or Living Your Best Life. That's our YouTube channel, and go in there and type in the comments on this. What are your interests? And I share that with us because I'm curious out there, because I think that helps us, or will help you, I should say, kind of identify some things of what you're for. And it's okay. Chefs is playing airsoft. I love houses and I love reading. Like, I read all the time. Like, I'm a readaholic, but it's what I'm into. By the way, if you like reading, share that in the comments too, because I'll probably send you a message as well, because that makes you awesome. But look, the fifth and final one is volunteer and get involved in a cause. I mean, when people tell you or ask you, what are you for? Here's something else that would be sad. If the only thing you're for is you. Andy Stanley said something one time that really stuck with me. He said that a life well lived is one that lives for something else. And I will say that again too. A life well lived is a life that lives for something else. You want to be remembered when you die? Don't live for you. Live for something else. And I stopped short of telling you what your cause is. And it's okay to go, I'm for this in business. I'm for this in family. I'm for this with my faith. But the way that I show all of that is I'm for, I know at the time we're recording this, it was announced that President Carter is fixing to go to hospice care, and he's from Georgia. And so all of us Georgians, our hearts go out with the Carter family. But I think, what was he for? I think most people in the country, whether they be conservative or liberal, Republican or Democrat, they don't think of Jimmy Carter, the president. They think of Jimmy Carter for Habitat for Humanity. What was Jimmy Carter for? Jimmy Carter's life was for helping people have a place to live, for giving the gift of a home. He was for something. And isn't it cool that what he was for exuded, it was so big that he was even greater than the presidency of the United States. And I think that is the perfect example of be for something that makes a lasting difference.
So real quick, let's break it down. We'll give a quick summary of everything that we've got going on. So let's do a quick shot. What are our 5 important things that knowing the power of knowing what we are for? What were our 5 hits?
Look, if you know what you're for, there's clarity. You'll have better decision making. You're going to build confidence. You're going to give direction, and you're going to have more enhanced relationships.
All right. That's really what it comes down to. I always kind of like to focus on that positive, right? So I just want to, again, encourage you as you're going through your week to be positive. Focus on what you are for, not what you are against. Be the positive light that's around everyone around you. If there's so much that's going on in our world, and you need to be that light. That's a brodacious life. That's what it's all about. Being a light, and that brings people over to you. Be the lighthouse in the dark room. And I just want to bless you. Be encouraged, and let's have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time on A Brodacious Life.